Hey guys, this is Caleb with DSLR Video Shooter, and we've all dealt with batteries and charging, and it's always a massive hassle when you're on set. We're grabbing different batteries, plugging them in all over the place, especially if they're those chargers that plug right onto the wall. You have them all over the place. It's a pain. I've left chargers places. It's just a mess. So I decided I wanted to find a way to keep all my chargers together and only need to have one power cord going into the wall. So obviously you'd think power strip, but we can't just plug all this stuff in. I didn't want all this stuff dangling off of the power strip, and I didn't want to have to plug everything onto the power strip when I got to set. I just wanted to plug one plug into the wall and I was done, and also one place for all my batteries. So I had a couple ideas, but I ended up using my Pelican Case. It's a 1540. It's one of those carry-on versions, and I was already using it for batteries. It's just the case that ended up being the battery case because other cases were used for cameras and stuff. So to kind of mod that case, I went over to Lowe's and I went ahead and picked up a really cheap power strip, double-sided Velcro, those little white cable straps that have nails in them, some small screws that would fit where the nails are in those cable straps, and I also picked up a couple washers. So with all those supplies, I went ahead and took my Pelican Case and started to get to work on it, and let's head over to the bench to take a look at the final product. Okay, so here I have the on-set battery station battery case, whatever you want to call it, and it's just that Pelican Case we talked about. If I open it up here, you'll notice there's really kind of two pieces to making one of these. There is getting power and the lid setup, and then your actual chargers and batteries. So what I did is my Pelican Case had an organizer in the lid. A lot of them have foam, there's different combinations. Whatever's up there, you're going to want to take it out if you're going to go with a setup like this. The other section is just the dividers here. Some of you guys may have the pluck stuff. Now this stuff is great. It's nylon. It's going to be a little nicer to work with. And you can change the dividers as you grow. What I decided was to figure out, I'll spend a lot of time figuring out what I need. And really it comes down to three types of batteries. Canon C100 batteries, GH4 batteries, maybe someday 7S batteries, and then Sony MPF batteries for all my lights and other gear. So I just have the C100 battery charger over here. I only really need to charge one battery at a time because I only have one camera and the batteries last forever on that. And then for the chargers, I like to use these dual chargers from Watson. You can buy them pretty affordably. And what I love about these is not only does it charge two batteries, but even if you don't have power hooked up, you can hit this test button. As long as one of the batteries has juice, you're going to get a readout and it'll tell you each battery and where it's at. So it should load here in a second. And there we go. So I see this battery is completely dead. And then on this side, I have just barely any juice. So these batteries definitely need to be charged. And what I did is I have two of these. And the other thing I love is when you take the batteries off, you can actually remove this plate and swap it out for a different style plate. So I can get different plates. I can charge really any battery system. So this is fantastic. You're not stuck. You don't have to throw this thing away or sell it when you switch to a different camera style. What I ended up doing was cutting little slits using my trusty Leatherman in these dividers at the base. And then I ran all my cords to the back here. From there, I went ahead and used that double-sided Velcro to kind of pull them together and then plugged them into this power strip. And what's really cool is the way it's set up is that I can close the lid and not have to unplug anything. So this worked out really well, and there's really two sections here. I've got the batteries in the front, and then I have cords in the back as well as the C100 charger over there. So worked out really, really well. And on the pockets, I have various other stuff. Here's my chargers for my AA and AAAs. Over here, I have anything V mount related. So I've got a V mount battery, all the chargers for that, and then some extra cables like a charger for my H4n cables. If I need to set up, I can do that. And then finally, all the way on the end, I have the V mount. So if I need a ton of battery life, I can hook that guy up and I'll be good to go. So batteries in the front, cords in the back. I have a pocket here where I have another charger, also stick charged batteries back here. For the top, I have two power strips. Originally I was going to have one, but I decided to add another one. We'll see why in a second. So this one, you can get a lot sexier black ones that rotate and can do all kinds of cool stuff. I just bought the cheapest one at Lowe's. I think it was like $6 or something, maybe less. And then I have the three charging systems, which is also a pro to having these dual chargers. is you don't have a cord for every battery. So 3 cords, and I'm charging 5 batteries here, which is really cool. I've got an iPhone USB AC adapter, so I can charge my iPhone here as well, which is really, really slick. And then up here, I just have one of those cable ties that come with a lot of stuff. You could also use double-sided Velcro to hold the cord. And what I'll do with this is I'll plug this in like so, and then I'll take my AA and AAA chargers, and I can plug those in up here and charge a ton of batteries that way. So that's what that top strip is for. It's not always going to be used, but it's nice to have a little more space to breathe when it comes to actual power outlets. To mount both of these, I'm just using screws on the actual lid, and that's what's so cool about this plastic, is for those of us that had the organizer up here, you actually just screw into the lid. So what I did is I used those small screws, and I used washers to kind of push the power strips away from the lid. And you want to make sure the screw head is large enough to hang these, and these are really on there good, and having washers in between the actual power strip and the lid helps it get really snug so it's not going to move around. And then to further secure it, you can take those little strips we talked about, those little cable straps, take the nails out and put screws in. So I ended up taking it and using it on another project, but I could have organized this a little nicer, and depending on the power strip you have, you may need to have more of those. So right now I just have one to keep this guy from potentially getting knocked off. So that's really it. And the beauty of this is I can pull the cord out, which also goes in this little back section, plug it into the wall, and flip the switch, and now all the batteries are charging. It's fantastic. I don't have to have little chargers all over the place, which I really love. The last little piece to this whole thing is an extension cord over here, and I use that double-sided Velcro to mount this. So this way, if I need to be farther away from an outlet, I can just grab my extension cord, plug it into the wall. To secure this, I use those same screws we used on the back of the strips and washers, and I put a washer by the head of the screw as well as in between the actual Velcro and the back wall here. So that way I had a little room, and you can see it spins here. So depending on what I put in there, that works really well. So that's pretty much it. When I'm done and it's time to move on, I can turn off the strip, grab the power cord, throw it in this back area, and then I just close the lid, and it closes up real nice. So really love it. I think it's a great move. You don't have to have a Pelican case. You can use a different case. This is just what I had available. Another option that I considered but I didn't end up doing would be to put Velcro on the back of the charger so that you could stick them to something, shoot, and then peel them off and put them on a desk when you got home or something like that. So I'd love to hear your guys' ideas, how you deal with power, if you've done something like this. So let me know in the comments below. And as always, you can watch new videos right here at DSLR Video Shooter every single Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.